everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome to Books for Tea. Today I have my TBR for the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon that is gonna be during the whole month of April. It's a readathon hosted by Book Roast. You'll probably have all heard of it because it's just taken BookTube by storm because it's just the coolest readathon ever. But I will link all of the information down below. It's basically a readathon that is inspired by the O.W.L.s exam that you take after your 5th year in Hogwarts. So I'm very excited to be taking my first step into my future as a witch, because during this readathon you kind of work towards your future wizarding career, and there are many different careers that you could choose. And as some of you might know, I am actually studying to become a teacher in real life, a Muggle teacher, but that's why I would also like to become a Hogwarts professor. And I'm gonna try to take all of the O.W.L.s, and in August I believe I will also be taking the Newts to complete my career as a Hogwarts teacher. I'm not 100% sure what subject I would like to teach. It's kind of a tie between charms and Muggle studies, so I'm definitely gonna do O.W.L.s in both of these subjects. And then in order to become a Hogwarts professor, I also need to take my O.W.L. in Defense Against the Dark Arts. I actually need to take 7 O.W.L.s in order to become a Hogwarts professor. So I've kind of just picked some extra O.W.L.s that I would really like to do. One of them is Transfiguration, because if I wanted to maybe not go down the Hogwarts professor route, what I would most want to do would be to work in Flourish and Bloods. And they actually had a little announcement in the career leaflet that they were hiring. So in order to become an employee for Flourish and Bloods, I would have to take Defense Against the Dark Arts, Transfiguration and Charms. So that's definitely on my list, because it said in that little announcement that any employee of Flourish and Bloods gets any book that they want for free. So if that isn't any book lover's dream, then I don't know what is. So let's get into the exams that I would like to take and the books I'm gonna read to complete each of my O.W.L.s. The first one is Charms, and it is to read an adult book, and for this I am reading I would like to read Eure Heimat ist unser Albtraum, which translates to Your Homeland is Our Nightmare, and it is a collection of different authors of color, German authors of color, who are writing about what home means to them, because this idea of home is really abstract, and it's basically often used to just exclude people of color and immigrants that are living in Germany. So this is kind of to reclaim that whole name and to just kind of talk about our current political situation in Germany, and it sounds really interesting. I have actually recently been at the book fair where I heard one of the authors of this in a talk, and she was really awesome, and she talked about gender inclusive language and just the power of words, and she also talked about this whole collection of short stories, and it's definitely one that I want to read. Gonna count that, gonna have my first book to complete my Charms O.W.L. Next up is Transfiguration, which is to read a book with sprayed edges or with a red cover. And for this I want to read Der Bücherdrache, or The Book Dragon, by O.W.L.s. O.W.L.s is a German author who has written a lot of really great fantasy books, and this is the newest one that has recently come out. It is a very short book, which is good because I can't just read huge books for the whole month. So I'm very glad that it's a short book. It has beautiful red sprayed edges, and I don't have it in my possession yet, but I will hopefully very soon. And yeah, I really want to read it this month. Next is Defense Against the Dark Arts, and the prompt for that is Readathon. Read a book that starts with an R. And for this one I want to read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I want to listen to this on audiobook. I definitely need some audiobooks on my TBR in order to get to all of them. And Radio Silence is just one of those books that I've heard so many great things about. I absolutely love YA contemporaries, and it just sounds really good. And I don't know a lot about it, just that a lot of people love it, and I'm very excited to get into it as well. Next up we have Muggle Studies, for which I want to read Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. I've read Jennifer Niven's other book and I really enjoyed it. Even though I've currently forgotten the name of it, but yeah, I'm excited to read this. So I've just told you 4 books that I definitely want to read, 4 O.W.L.s I definitely need to complete, and now we kind of have the option of choosing 3 other O.W.L.s from any of the books I'm gonna mention now. The first one is Ancient Runes, and the prompt is to read any book that was published over 10 years ago. And for that I've picked a reread, and that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. For the longest time I've just been in the biggest mood to reread this, so this would finally be a great opportunity to pick it up again. It's one of my favorite books. I haven't read it in forever, but I've read it like 3 or 4 times before, and I just love it so much. I love the movie, I love everything about this book, and it's actually already 20 years old, so it would fit very, very well. For Ancient Runes, the prompt is to read a retelling, and I've chosen Vox by Christina Delcher, and this is a dystopian book where women aren't allowed to talk more than 100 words a day. And on the cover it says, a petrifying reimagining of The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm gonna guess that that counts as a kind of retelling. I've loved The Handmaid's Tale. It definitely reminded me of this when I read the blurb, and I'm just very, very excited to read this. And yeah, I can't wait because it just sounds absolutely amazing. For arithmancy, the prompt is to read a book written by more than one author, and for this I would like to read Shambos, which translates to shameless, by 3 different Muslim, I think Dutch authors, and they have come together to write about what being a Muslim woman means to them, and I was kindly sent this by the publisher, and I'm so excited to read it. This already looks so cool, but then if you take off this little like front cover, it has the coolest cover I've ever seen in my life, and yeah, I cannot wait to read this. And it definitely fulfills the prompt of a book written by several authors. For potions, the prompt is next ingredient, read a sequel, and for this I would like to read Someday by David Levithan. This is the sequel to Everyday, which is one of my favorite books. It's been a long time since I read it. I don't know if I would still love it as much today, but it is about a person who doesn't have a gender. They wake up in a different body every single day, but at some point they fall in love with a girl and kind of need to figure out how all of this works. And the end of Everyday was kind of a cliffhanger, and for many, many years we did not get a continuation. We didn't get to find out what happens after the end. We actually even got a reimagining of the whole story from the girl's point of view, but this is the actual continuation. It came out earlier this year and I'm so excited to read it. For Herbology, the prompt is to read a book with a plant on the cover, and I would like to read Archibald Finch and the Lost Witches by Michael Gaillon. I've been sent this by the author and I've been meaning to read it for such a long time now. A lot of people have said that they really, really love it. It's a magical middle grade book, so it fits really well into the magical readathon, and I'd be very excited to read it. And here, if you kind of fold back the cover, you can see that there is a tree on the cover, so it counts for Herbology. And yeah, I would really, really love to get to this one as well. Finally, we have Care of Magical Creatures, and the prompt is to read a book with a land animal on the cover, and I would like to read a book that fits perfectly into this readathon like none other, and that is Harry Potter, A History of Magic. Now you might be confused for a moment because on the cover we have a phoenix, which definitely is not a land animal, but at the back we actually have some other animals. We have, well, a centaur isn't really an animal. I don't know if they would agree if I called them that, but we have a kind of like dragon snake thing. But if we once again get under the dust cover, you can see that there is a huge glorious shiny snake which lives on land, so I'm making it count. And I actually got this book by Rachel Marie when I met her. I will link her channel down below. If you don't know her yet, you need to check her out. But she is so kind. I got to meet her when she still lived in Frankfurt, and she gave me this book, and yeah, I'm very, very excited to read it. And it fits perfectly because it's called A History of Magic, which is one of the subjects in Hogwarts, obviously. It kind of gives you some background knowledge on the subjects of Harry Potter, on the magic of Harry Potter, and on all of the history that is there, and that doesn't just come from J.K. Rowling. And this actually has different chapters for different like Hogwarts subjects. So I'm gonna learn about potions, alchemy, herbology, charms, astronomy, divination, defense against the dark arts, and care of magical creatures by reading this book. And if that is not the perfect preparation for the O.W.L.s, then I don't know what is. Okay, so those are my options for the O.W.L.s. There are some O.W.L.s that I need to take in order to get my preferred career path. There are some that I can choose. If I have time, I want to definitely do some more O.W.L.s than just the 7 that I'm required to take. And yeah, I'm just hoping that I will read a lot of these books that I just talked about, and that I will have a really, really good reading month in April. I'm actually 5 books behind on my Goodreads challenge of reading 100 books this year, so I really need to step up my game in April, so this would be a great opportunity. And yeah, definitely let me know if you are doing the Magical Readathon as well. I feel like a lot of people from the community are, which is so great because it brings us all a little bit closer together. Let me know what you think of these books, if you have read any of them. Let me know what you think of my glasses. I keep looking into my camera and I see that they have this weird kind of shiny thing going on. I have those glasses since yesterday. They're brand new and I love them a lot, but I feel like they look a little weird while filming. I hope that I will see you all again in another video very, very soon. If you're doing the Magical Readathon, have so much fun and goodbye!